Hi, I'm Kim and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Before we get going with today's video, I just want to take a moment to thank Adeline very much for your continued support. Your donation to our channel's PayPal account is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. You guys see all the orbs today? I want to say thank you very much to all of you for your continued support. We've just crossed over to 15,000 subscribers. For all of you who have subscribed, who share the videos, who leave comments, thumbs up, thank you guys so much. Over the 5 years I spent with Trevor, I will admit, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea that I was dealing with an odious narcissist. I just knew my life was falling apart and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Now, if you're new to the channel, if you've just started researching this, I know you're confused. And many people have asked me, how do I know if my partner is a narcissist or my mother or a friend? And I want to talk about that today. Now, there's going to be all kinds of telltale signs. The initial love bombing is certainly one of them. Usually, when two people meet, there is a slow and steady development of a relationship. If you've been love bombed, I mean, to the point that you can barely breathe, as I had been, you're possibly dealing with a narcissist. Another really typical sign is that shift from idealization to devaluing, where now they're putting in a few little digs, a few little comments to kind of undermine you. What they're doing now is kind of testing you to see how much abuse you're going to put up with. Future faking is another very real sign that you're dealing with a narcissist. If this person in your life is constantly making promises for something to happen in the future, but none of these promises ever come to pass, that's what you're dealing with, future faking. Triangulation is a very insidious form of abuse. Now, triangulation doesn't always occur with a third person, though narcs are notorious for reintroducing members of their narc harem to the relationship. But I will tell you, Trevor would often triangulate me with the television. I mean, he'd just be locked on. I'd be trying to talk to him. He'd be completely ghosting me, and ghosting is another one. When the narc refuses to communicate with you, see you, hear you, like you're not even there, like you're a ghost. Another sign that you're likely dealing with one of the cluster Bs. Another thing that's very, very common with narcissists is going to be alcoholism, drug addiction, addictions to deviant sexual acts, pornography, gambling, and Trevor had all of those. Oh, and lying's a big one. If you suspect you're being lied to, keep in mind a narcissist is always in a place of glory when they're lying. If they feel that they're deceiving you, twisting your mind, twisting your perception of things, creating an illusion, this is where they are really going to shine. They love this shit. Lying is absolutely paramount. They can't hold the story together if they're not lying. They can't continue to perpetuate this fake persona that they've created unless they continue to lie. So if you feel like you're being lied to pretty steady, you're probably dealing with a narc. And the cheating. Infidelity is always going to be right out there in the forefront because they need to keep fostering and nurturing their narc harem. And yes, that's what you are. You are not a unique individual. You are just a blur, part of a narc harem. Narcissists are incapable of seeing people as unique individuals. They see them as possessions. Therefore, it's almost impossible for a narc to ever really let anyone go. They just tuck them away in their narc harem, revisit, text them now and then, make the odd call, make sure everything's still intact. And even though you are likely primary supply, as I had been, I was still nothing more than the member of a narc harem. If you suspect your narc, either male or female, gay or straight, is engaged in some extracurricular activity, you're going to find that they're going to keep locks on their phone, be very secretive, sneak around, and certainly keep their phones hidden from you. And all of those horrible things that the narc is doing, well, guess what? Those are the very things they're going to accuse you of doing. They're going to accuse you of being untrustworthy. They're going to accuse you of being a liar and a cheat. Why? Because that's what they are. Now, there's going to be a gamut of things that connect all narcs that really make them all show very similar to each other. And certainly these are gauges as to whether or not you're dealing with a narcissist. But I think more importantly, and what really made it clear for me, was how I felt around Trevor. I felt bad. I felt confused. I felt frustrated and angry. I was utterly heartbroken. I was scared all the time, living on eggshells. I couldn't say or do a thing right. I just felt so broken, so diminished, so humiliated. If you find yourself in a situation where you simply cannot recognize your own life, you cannot recognize what's happening to your life is just sliding down this dark, deep, black rabbit hole, and you just don't seem to be able to stop it. You can't make heads or tails of any of it. If you're feeling completely destabilized, chances are you're dealing with a narcissist. These things are going to impact every aspect of your life. They are going to attack on every level. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. It just doesn't stop. If you find that every aspect of your life has been filthied up, dirty, corrupted, you're dealing with a narc. The only reaction you're getting from this person is a narc smirk, a look of satisfaction, some sort of creepy, gleeful look on their face because they're hurting you. You are most definitely dealing with a narcissist. I know many victims, including myself, would say that the time I spent with Trevor was probably the worst chapter in my entire life. If you're feeling like you are in the worst chapter of your entire life, you're probably with a narcissist. Now, with all of that said, you can gauge your own level of suffering. If this has crossed over to a situation completely unbearable, completely unmanageable, completely impossible to understand, you need to get out of there. You are dealing with a narcissist, and no, there's no way to fix them. There's no way to fix any of this. You need to get out of there. For many victims, the realization that you have to leave can be absolutely soul-wrenching, heartbreaking. Oh God, what am I going to do without this creature? But let me tell you, by the time Trevor's mask fell off and I realized that I was dealing with something absolutely diabolical, for me, it was the end of the fight. The mask came off, I saw what he was, I knew I was done. I knew the fight was over, the struggle was over, there wasn't going to be any more fires to stomp out, no more chaos to reel back in, no more problems to solve. I actually found the realization that I needed to leave to be very liberating, comforting for me actually, and I felt comforted for the first time in 5 years. Now, like many of you, I had come and gone from the relationship many times over 5 years. And I think what lured me back all those times was the hope of an apology, the hope that he would validate how I was feeling. And when his mask fell off that final time, I didn't care anymore. I did not need this creep validating me. I did not even want an apology. So I was truly done. And I think if you're at that point right now where you're really having to face the facts and really realize that you're dealing with something that is beyond your control, this can be very liberating if you just let it go. And I know that is easy to say, but that's what I did. I had just reached the point where I knew this is not what I wanted in my life. I did not want to spend any more time in this combative, crazy situation. I didn't want to live on eggshells. I felt miserable, and I had come to a point where I just didn't want to be miserable anymore. All of a sudden, through all that fog, I truly internalized the fact that I deserved so much better than this. I had made every effort to be a good partner to him, and never once did he return the favor to me. So I was done. Guys, you get to pick this stuff. This really is within your control. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you guys are having a great narc-free day. Chins up, everybody.